So you're thinking of buying a security camera. It can be absolutely overwhelming. There is a ton of information out there, but fortunately for you, I have done a lot of the research and already made the mistakes so that you don't have to. So let's talk about a few key considerations before your purchase so that you find a system that works best for you, and then I'll tell you which camera I personally recommend. Which in theory, you could just get that from the description below, but where's the fun in that? Alright, jumping right into this, let's talk about why you're probably setting up a security camera and what it actually gets for you. To begin, you have to determine what you personally are trying to accomplish with this purchase. That said, here are the 4 most common reasons that people buy a security camera setup. Number 1, evidence. Let's say there's a risk of a crime, be it like a package thief or a vandal. In this case, you're purchasing the camera to try to capture that video evidence and then hopefully ID the suspect. Number 2 is theft deterrence. While it's great that you can ID a suspect, it's better if they just don't steal stuff from you in the first place, and maybe a security camera is enough to scare them away. Reason number 3 is real-time alerts. This is if you require immediate notification or near real-time notification of anything from a visitor or a trespasser, depending on what you're expecting. Bringing us to number 4, peace of mind. Security cameras can be a lot like cheap insurance because mentally you just know that your property is protected, and that does take off a lot of mental burden. Alternatively, you could be using these to check in on your loved ones, family members, parents, children, pets, captives, but especially if you're not in a position where it's easy to just go and physically check, there is a lot of peace of mind that comes with being able to see the people that you care about and making sure that they are safe at all times. But before we dive too deep into this, let me first tell you why security cameras might not solve your problem. First and foremost, temper your expectations about what they actually provide and what they will actually capture for you. I installed cameras here at my house after a few years of some tweakers just going through and trying to do crimes of opportunity, breaking into cars throughout the neighborhood, and initially I got my setup to try to catch these thieves, but instead, over the last roughly 6 or 7 years, I have not captured a single break-in attempt. I've also never personally been a victim of a package thief, but it's also possible that all these things have happened because those cameras acted as a deterrent. Instead, however, I get near constant notifications throughout the day, every day, of people that are walking their dogs, if they're jogging, kids walking to or from school, neighbors mowing their yard, a bunch of stuff that really I don't care about. The truth is, 99.9% of the time, all the stuff that you're going to be catching is going to be very uneventful. And the other 0.1% is a maybe, and I mean a very big maybe, that you potentially capture evidence of a crime. And personally, I've captured people setting off fireworks next to my car, backing into one of my guest cars and then doing a hit and run and driving away, and then a couple of minor crimes that were committed by that one neighbor. Video in description below. Let's say you actually do capture evidence of a crime, what can you actually do with that? And the answer is, it depends. The police can usually take action if you have a video where the perpetrators are very well identifiable, or if you've personally witnessed something and then the camera provides supplemental evidence that backs up your story. In those cases, they can probably go out and make an arrest, but otherwise, you might not have such great luck. For most smaller minor crimes, including package theft, the police realistically aren't going to do a whole lot for you other than filing a police report that you can then give to your insurance company. Most departments simply do not have the resources or the time to hunt down all these petty crimes, and they are much more focused on bigger issues. So while having that video does undoubtedly prove something happened, it doesn't mean that they're going to go out and find this person. It can actually create a much more frustrating experience where you have a video clearly showing someone committing a crime, and it feels like on the other end the police are doing absolutely nothing about it. So if that outcome is a very real possibility, ask yourself, is this really worth spending my hard-earned money on, considering that many security cameras cost several $100s to buy into? Now, having said that, maybe it's still worthwhile for you if having the ability to check or just having the video evidence alone is enough for you. But once again, just temper your expectations of what you'll actually get out of it. And furthermore, a security system also probably makes sense for a number of other reasons too, right? So if you're monitoring family, including like aging parents or your kids getting back from school, that is a very legitimate reason that a lot of people have for buying security camera setups, and if that is what you need it for, by all means, go for it. Everything up to this point has covered the why, so let's also cover the what and the how. And to cover those, here are 9 questions that you need to ask yourself. Number 1, what are the areas that you are trying to cover? Number 2, what are the likely entry points into your property? Now, when you're answering this, you have to think like a thief, because the front door isn't always the obvious answer, and if you have anything that's easily accessible, like a window that goes into your basement, there's probably going to be cases where those are more important to cover. But that brings us to number 3, which is, are there any choke points that people or visitors or unwanted visitors have to funnel through to get to those access areas. Because if you live in an apartment building, you can try to put cameras around the entire apartment, or you can just put one in the hallway that covers the entire thing. Number 4, what camera resolution do you need? How clearly do you need to be able to see, and how far of a distance do you need to be able to see it? Bringing us to number 5, how are you going to place the cameras to cover those critical areas? Which all brings us to number 6, how many cameras do you actually need? Now keep in mind that some systems allow you to add more cameras later, but at the base core, what do you need to get started to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish? And number 7, which kind of goes back to camera placement, what is the access like to the camera locations? Are you able to run wires through your wall or through your attic to get to that location? Do you need to go to a wireless setup? Or if you do need to go to a wireless setup because there isn't wire access, is there a place to add a solar panel so that the battery doesn't die as frequently? And tied closely to that is question number 8, which is, are the cameras accessible physically by you or alternatively by an intruder? And number 9, which is a big one, what is your budget? Because we all have this wish list of having 43,782 cameras scattered around our property, but the reality is each of those costs money, and it is better to prioritize the few locations that you really need. So you really have to know how much money you're willing to spend and what your goals are to determine whether or not you can even accomplish those goals within your set budget. So having said all of that, if a camera system is still the right choice for you, here is the top level things that you need to know. First and foremost, the products put out by all of the leading companies today are probably going to have the same core features and will probably do what you need them to do. Any modern, reputable manufacturer is going to have a system that at the very least is competent at being a security camera, but different companies try to focus on different features or different aspects of the user experience and try to curtail to those customers specifically. But that said, there are tons of videos out there of very good in-depth analyses, of side-by-side video comparisons, of real-time speed testing of how quickly it sends the notification to your phone, and in some cases even showing weaknesses of some of the different systems. But in my opinion, there's really only 2 things that are the highest level differentiators for a system that you might be considering. Number 1, is it a wired versus a wireless setup? And number 2, is it subscription-based or perpetual use, meaning it is a one-time buy and there is no recurring cost to keep it operating? Let's start with the wired setups. So nearly all wired camera setups are going to be considered perpetual use. They're going to include some sort of either like a hard drive or a server that's going to store the data locally. All the cameras that you're going to have around the property have to have wires running down into the server box, which is going to physically store the data, which also means everything at all times has to be plugged in. Now, there are some wired systems out there that do offer subscription plans if you want something like active monitoring, and many of these will have some level of application that you can download on your phone that allows you to view it remotely, but in my experience, those apps are not the best. But generally, these setups are a little bit basic, a little bit simple, but generally relatively reliable. Especially because they're not dependent on a wireless system, there's a lot less times where that loses connection, where you'll have a gap from when something occurs to when you actually get the video, and it also means that they're usually less expensive. And the simplicity and the lower price point are why I actually initially went with one of the wired systems. But while the lower price of entry is tempting, there are a few downsides that you do want to consider. Number 1, ease of installation. Going back to my questions about mounting location and physical access, because the wires have to be physically connected to the cameras, that limits where your cameras can actually be placed because the wires have to be able to reach. And beyond that, they also have to be routable from wherever the camera is through the house down to where the server box is. And personally, when I bought my wired system, I did not do enough homework on running the wires prior to purchasing it, and that forced me to change the majority of my install locations as well as spending additional money for wire extensions because quite frankly, it was physically impossible for them to be mounted and wired where I originally wanted them to be. But let's move on to number 2, which is physical wear. Wires can get weathered, they can get worn down, they can get chewed by rodents, or even during the install process, if you're trying to pull it through a wall or around a sharp corner, there is a possibility that you either damage or stretch out the wire, making it more thin and potentially causing connection issues for you down the line. Alternatively, if a criminal sees that you have a wired system, they can pull the plugs out of the back, or alternatively cut the wires, making it a lot more difficult for you to ever replace them, which in my opinion is a very serious limitation. Number 3, data storage. Like I said earlier, the data is stored locally on that server that they give to you, which means that if a thief breaks into your property and they find that server box, they can just take that and all of the video evidence with them. And I actually know someone who did operate a small business years ago. They had this happen to them where someone broke into their office, stole the safe, and also stole the recording device, and then just walked out with that as well, and they never figured out who it was. Now, some wired camera manufacturers do offer cloud-based storage or remote backups. I wouldn't say that's very common though, and from my research, there is almost always a subscription fee associated with having that data backed up elsewhere. Now, if you're a really tech-savvy person, there are ways to figure out how to do that on your own to get it to back up either to a different drive locally or to cloud storage, but for the average consumer, that is probably not achievable. Bringing us to number 4, customer support. Getting support for things like remote access of the video or live feed is, in my experience, not exactly great for most of the wired systems. These systems really focus on that old school wired insecurity. It's not really supposed to be a technology first type of product. So when I bought my first wired system, I actually figured out pretty quickly that things like remote access, account support, customer service were probably best described as poorly developed and not updated on a frequent basis. Customer support was minimal, it was outsourced, and furthermore, there were pretty significant bugs for things like remote viewing, and the online community support for a lot of these systems, based on my findings at least, is pretty sparse. There's not really a lot of good documentation on how to fix these issues on your own. So really, if you have problems with these systems, you're often on your own to try to find answers. Now, limiting their development and their continued support is how they actually help keep those initial costs lower. So you might not have a monetary payment up front for it, but I assure you that you will be paying for it somehow later on. Bringing us to number 5, which is future expansion. The server that you receive that stores the data on a wired setup will have a certain number of plugs or channels on the back of it, and each one of those can support precisely one camera being plugged into it. So however many plugs there are on the back, that is the maximum number of cameras that you can ever have on that system, and if you want to go beyond that, congratulations. Not only are you buying a new system, but then you also have to rewire it in. So by contrast, let's look at wireless security camera setups. Those are a lot more focused on like the tech side and the user interface side of things. So those cameras sync up to your Wi-Fi network. It makes setup a lot easier. You download an app, you scan the QR code on the cameras using your phone. It downloads the latest software and firmware, updates everything, and then you are ready to go. And in my experience, the setup process is so easy that I could probably even trust my parents to figure it out. Furthermore, it gives you a lot more options for installation. If you are within Wi-Fi range, you can install the camera wherever that is. That provides you a lot of flexibility, and instead of having to run wires, it's usually 2 to 3 screws per camera mount, and then the camera attaches to that. So at least in my experience, a wireless camera is a lot more recent tech. It's generally higher definition cameras based on what I was able to find, and generally speaking, you get a wider lens angle as well, which means you can run less cameras and get the same coverage. And furthermore, those companies are also better about providing updates not only to the cameras and the features in those cameras, but also to the apps and the user experience so that you're always getting a relatively updated system. But that is not to say they're problem-free, so here are the top 5 cons. Number 1, upfront cost. Straight up, they are more expensive upfront, no getting around that. Number 2, subscription dependence. Most wireless camera offerings are dependent on a subscription-based model, so after you pay for the cameras itself, you then have a recurring monthly or yearly payment to actually be able to use the cameras, including for many of them, the most basic record function. You literally cannot use a lot of these cameras unless you also pay for that recurring subscription, which, if you haven't figured it out, kind of defeats the purpose of the entire thing. I'll cover this in a sec, but that doesn't mean that 100% of wireless cameras have a subscription model, but a concerningly large percent of them are, which dramatically increases your long-term operating costs. But let's move on to number 3. Power. Seeing as it's not wired to anything, that means it has to operate off of battery power. Now, certain companies do have solar panels that can plug into these, and that will keep the battery charged for longer. In my experience, I charge them overnight about one night every 15 months or so, which isn't terrible, but other brands I've heard are not quite as good. And number 4, security. And let's start with physical security. By not having wires, these cameras are a little bit less permanently attached wherever you mount them. Like I said, the thing that you're physically mounting is usually 2 or 3 screws, and then the camera attaches to that either using a strong magnet or using like a plastic threaded body that's easy to remove. And on one hand, that does make them easier to adjust, it makes them easier to take down and recharge, but on the other hand, let's say that you're, I don't know, a thief, it makes it a lot easier to knock them out of position to where they're no longer useful, or alternatively, to just take it off the wall themselves and then walk away with it. And on a cybersecurity side, if somebody can hack into your phone or your network, that means they can also hack into your cameras. Generally, this is probably not an issue unless you have them in like a changing room or a sensitive area inside your house, but just something to keep in mind. And number 5, network dependence. They are obviously dependent on Wi-Fi for real-time connection and real-time viewing, which also means that they are easier to temporarily take offline if you happen to lose signal or lose power. When the network goes down, most cameras have a small amount of local storage to store videos until Wi-Fi is available again, at which point it will upload whatever videos it's saved to the network. But even if you don't have an outage, that also means that you're constantly sending data over your Wi-Fi, which is on one hand eating up some of your Wi-Fi Wi-Fi's bandwidth, but also any delays in that connection or signal are going to cause delays to you getting real-time alerts. Those real-time alerts are very dependent on network speed and connection strength, so if that is a critical feature to you, just keep that in mind. And I want to make this clear for both wired and wireless cameras, just because something is possible as a downside doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to happen to you personally. So regardless of which type you get, possibility does not equal probability, and a competent system will deter thieves either way. This is a lot of information to think about, so depending on what factors or features are more important to you and which downsides you consider to be an absolute non-starter, certain brands might be better suited to your needs, and I really encourage you to go out and do your own research to find the best fit for you. With all that said, let's now go into my personal considerations and the product that I ultimately recommend. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, I was dealing with about 1 to 2 car break-in attempts or minor thefts per year in my neighborhood, and these same individuals were stealing things from people's yards. A couple kids' bikes got stolen, hoses got stolen, nothing really high dollar, but enough that it was really a nuisance. And that is what initially drove me to getting a security system. What I was personally more worried about was covering the vehicles before anything else, because that was the highest dollar thing that I've got outside. Now, a single camera with a wide field of view would have covered my entire driveway, but for a comparable price, I got a wired system with, I believe, 4 cameras initially, but the wired cameras that I bought didn't have as wide of a viewing angle, so it actually took 2 to cover that entire area. Then a couple of years later, I had some new neighbors move in across the street, and I'll say that they've been more of a nuisance than those prior criminals, video linked below. Around that same time, I had also purchased a more expensive looking vehicle, which made my house a little bit more of a target anyhow. So around that time, I really started looking into expanding to not only cover that, but also to try to cover other potential entry points into my house. I quickly realized that with the new cameras I wanted to add, plus the wire extensions to reach those new locations, I wasn't really far off the cost of just upgrading to a wireless camera system. And if I did that, I also wouldn't have to run wires through my attic and then have insulation in my skin for the next 4 months. And the only other big requirement I had at that point was that the new setup could absolutely not, under any circumstance, require a subscription fee. Now, because I didn't consider those expansions when I first bought my initial setup, in the long run, it ended up costing me a lot more because I had to buy something new. And buying wireless cameras that don't require a subscription to use them is marginally more expensive up front, but I did the math, and the money I saved by not having to pay for a subscription every month was going to pay for the entire difference of cost of the 2 cameras within a year and a half. Now, that was about 6 or 7 years ago, so the cost difference of not paying for the monthly subscription has now paid for all of those cameras in full twice. But being adamant that I did not pay a subscription fee, not wanting to crawl through my attic and still wanting a wireless camera, and doing a lot of research on things like video quality, the camera system I purchased and the one that I ultimately recommend is from Eufy. Eufy, I think I've been trying to say it too much off camera and it just doesn't sound real in my head anymore. But either way, what I ended up buying is a floodlight camera with a wide angle field of view that goes over my driveway. I got 2 Eufy Cam 2 Pros with a home base, and that is actually it. Just the 3, because that seems to cover my entire house. Now, at this point, seeing as this was more than half a decade ago, there's probably more recent versions of what I bought, but if you're interested in this system, I will put something in the description below. These 3 cameras, like I said, cover pretty much my entire house in high definition. Setup was simple, the app was great, the product support has been great, and even though I bought this one because it doesn't require a subscription, if you do want additional features like automatically contacting the police or the fire department and active monitoring by a third-party company, they do offer subscriptions that you can opt in for things like that, but it is ultimately not required for it to do just the basic security camera stuff, which is something I cannot say about a number of its competitors. And yes, Ring Cameras and Google Nest, I am looking at you. Now, I also think it's worth mentioning that I have 4 different friends who did not know that I purchased this. I didn't mention it to them, I didn't recommend it to them. All 4 of them went out, did their own research, did their own comparisons, and independently bought effectively the exact same setup from Eufy. And I asked them why that's what they decided on once I found out about it. The number one thing was not having a recurring subscription, but the other things they mentioned were the clear image quality and the good app interface. But like I said, that long-term operating cost of not having the subscription, that was a huge draw for every one of them. And to play devil's advocate, I do have a 5th friend who was looking for a security setup as well. He ended up with a Ring camera. He does like the camera. However, he certainly does not like the recurring subscription payments. But anyhow, these are the key things that you should consider prior to spending your hard-earned money on a security camera, many of which I also wish I knew prior to buying my first setup, and ultimately the setup that earns my recommendation. But as always, do your own research, buy what makes the most sense for you based on the features that you need. But if nothing else, hopefully my mistakes could at least give you a foundation of what to look for so that you don't waste your own money. That'll do it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.